a newsletter out about this, about how we are always leading and we are always following. You know, and I think of that almost in, you know, we could put these models on top of each other all the time. They're just a way to have context around things. But that, like, when we step into our leadership space, we are, you know, we need to have come from a place of deep listening to know how to act back out into the world. And that's equally as powerful as knowing when. It's so powerful to know when, oh, this is not my time to lead right now. This is my time to actually rest back and listen. And that this cycle is ongoing over and over and over a million times throughout the day, you know? And what does it feel like? And just tune into this for a moment. Like, what does it feel like for you in your body, in your breath, in your bones? What is the different quality of sensation within yourself? What does it feel like when you are rooted in yourself? Not even necessarily in the earth. Like, you don't have to root down into something outside of you in order to be earthed, right? What does it feel like when you root into yourself, into the earth of yourself? You know, for me, it's a sense of feeling thoughtful. It's the sense of feeling, you know, kind of like thorough, like anchored deep, no rush, deeply mindful. Patient. And then can you connect to also, what does it feel like when you are leading? You know, what does it feel like when you're listening, when you're following intuition, following, you know, wisdom that you are just being receptive to? And I think you'll really notice that it's not I don't want to use the word like passive. It's not passivity. It's not disengaged, right? There's a deep engagement, a deep presencing when we are following, because we're listening. We're hearing on a deeper level. And then when you tune into what it feels like when you are kind of more outward, kind of more in the leadership space. And there's no right or wrong answer here, but like, what does that feel like in your body? There's a clarity. You know, a perseverance, a directness. And what does it really feel like when we hold these two qualities within our body, within our field at the same time? Because they're not separate in any way. There can be a softness and a spaciousness to your directness, to your intensity, to your clarity. And there can be a deep, abiding power and strength in your mindfulness and your receptivity. So while you're holding that idea in your self, if you have the space and you'd like to, I just invite you to lay down on the ground for a moment. If you want to remain seated, if being seated is the space for you right now, do that. That's totally cool. But if you can lay down or lean up against a wall, or it is just to get a little bit closer to the earth. Bring the earth of you a little bit closer to the earth of the mother. Hopefully you can still, if you need to see me, I don't think you will, but hopefully you can still hear me. So lay yourself down on the ground. I'm not sure my headset will work like that, so I'm going to come close, but lay yourself down on the ground or sit yourself where you are. And have the sense now, with every exhalation, that you're just getting a little bit heavier. A little earthier. Like actually take your attention into the earth of you, into your bones. Feel your awareness into your bones. Your bones constantly rebuilding themselves through a steady, unending process. Have a sense of your skin draping over your bones. What does it feel like to actually soften your skin? You have the sense of softening your hair follicles, let your hair soften. Let your eyes soften in the sockets. So you might even be able to tune into the nerve, the big optic nerve behind your eyes. And can you let that relax and soften? Let your tongue, the root of your tongue, the base of your tongue, relax in the back of your mouth and feel the bottom row of the very back teeth just soften and move away from the top row of your back teeth. Feel your throat soften. Slide your awareness down to the space underneath your rib cage, your diaphragm. See if you can have the sense of the muscles of the diaphragm underneath your ribs, relaxing a little bit. Notice if you have any tension in your belly. Where we actually take the earth and transform it into nourishment for ourselves. Your belly expand and fall. And just remaining as heavy as you possibly can. If you are laying down, just draw your right knee into your chest. Just hug your right knee into your chest. And let yourself settle into that space. Notice that our body, our musculoskeletal system moves much slower than our mind. And even further still, our connective tissue, our fascia that holds the web of connectivity throughout the whole body, moves even slower than the musculoskeletal system. The earth of us is in no rush. So just take a few moments with your knee into your chest. If you're laying down, if you're seated, you just tune into where you might be gripping or holding and allow yourself to soften. We soften into this new position and settle back into the earth of you. Now, when you feel for you that you are anchored, your breath is flowing full and deep, then take your leg across the front of your body and twist. So if you have your right knee into your chest, it'll come across the front of your body to the left, and you can drop your knee open, stretch your right arm to the right, and open your chest. And if you're seated, I just invite you to lift your spine tall, and you can actually just turn, take a little seated twist. If you're sitting in a chair, you can do it this way. And then let yourself once again find the earth of you here. So smooth out your breath. And any part of you that was kind of resistant or tight in this space, just let it melt away. Let it take the time that it takes with your patience and your perseverance without pushing. And you're going to know when you have reached a space of deep, deep surrender, of deep inner anchoring. And when you feel that, let yourself take another breath or two so you can soften into it even a little bit more, practicing your patience. And then when the time is ready for you, you'll use your inhale breath to bring you back to center. And if you're lying on your back, just stretch your leg out and just flop there. If you're seated, allow yourself to come back to center and just feel any shift that's happened along the spine, along the belly. And then draw your other knee into your chest. And while you hug your knee into your chest, just let yourself settle. notice the tendency to want to change and move or push yourself into a position. And instead, see if you can allow yourself to be patient with the time that it takes for the earth of you to unfold, to open, to shift, to change. The mind will go the quickest. The muscles and the bones will follow a little after. The fascia, the connective tissue, the deepest earth of your being, takes a little longer. When it feels right for you, take the twist on this side, seated or laying down. And let it be gentle. Feel the strength and the spaciousness that comes with moving in a way that is deeply thoughtful, deeply reflective. Let your breath be full and soft. I think a big part of Taurus energy and earthy energy is this courage to do it slow. This courage to wait without needing to push. Waiting implies our capacity to actually trust that the wave of something bigger will arise within us. Inhale. As you're ready, when it's time for you, you come back to center. If you're laying on your back, just flop out again onto the earth. And it's not that the part of us that wants to do and wants to know and knows the way, or has a specific desire goes away. No, we need that part. We love the part of ourself that is searching to keep us safe by drawing logic and always looking at the next place. But right now we let that part of ourselves soften and drop into the background. And instead we drop into the earth of us, our bones, our muscles, our breath, our heart. And there's a resonance that arises when we acknowledge and attune to both of these aspects of who we are. So if you're lying down, take your time just to roll onto your right side. Let it be simple. Let it be sweet. And then take your time as it feels good for you to press up to sit. And we're just gonna, if you have the ability to stand up and you didn't want to lay down, but now you want to stand up, I'm gonna invite you to stand up for a moment and just fold forward. I'm trying to, that's good to show you. You're just gonna fold forward. Let's take your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Knees slightly bent. You'll see I have my knees kind of bent here so that your spine can round. If it feels good for you, you can take ragdoll position. Back of your neck long. If you are staying seated and you need to just stretch your legs out a little bit, you might want to stretch your legs out and fold forward over your legs. If you're seated, that's totally okay. If you are standing and you have your knees a little bit bent, I just invite you to just kind of push from side to side, one foot to the other, so you just get a little bit swaying. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just listen to your body, the wisdom in every cell. It doesn't come from the mind. It doesn't come from the knowing. Just let yourself move and sway side to side. You can even visualize that every time you kind of press one foot down into the earth, like you're growing roots. And almost as if you are standing, that like the crown of your head, you have roots almost growing out of the crown of your head towards the earth as well. And just feel spaciousness arise within all these different crevices of your body. Space between each and every vertebrae. Feeling the muscles stretch away from the bone. Our mindfulness, our thoughtfulness doesn't have to be on a mental construct, but rather just in your physical form. Visualize it, feel the earth of you unfolding, coming to life, enlivening, just by you placing your awareness there. See, our consciousness, our awareness, our presence is what heals. So where you place your attention, where you place your presence, is where we have the capacity to heal. So just for another breath or two, place your awareness in your body, your breath, and let it unfold. And walk your feet in a little closer if you're standing. Bend your knees even deeper. And just take your time to roll yourself up. So anchor your tailbone down, draw your belly in, and take your time to roll up to standing. And then whether you're standing or seated, just be there upright for a moment. If you have any rushing going to the brain, blood rush or headache or anything, again, just persevere, just be still weight back into your breath. And let everything settle. Almost like a snow globe that's been shaken up. Let all of the debris, let all the little pieces of you settle back down to your root. And if you are seated and you unfolded your legs, you can fold them again. If you're standing, I invite you to come back to a seat. And staying internal with yourself, that earthy connectivity you've created, just allow your eyes to open. So you can stay totally rooted and centered within yourself with your eyes open. And Meg, I'll hand it over to you. Meg's gonna guide us a little bit more.
Just take a moment here to feel your seat on the earth. And you can keep your eyes open, or once again, you can allow the eyes to fall closed. And just acknowledge what the great mama within and all around you has taught you. Oh, she has taught me patience, but not in the way of waiting for something to be different than it is. The patience to be with things exactly as they are. The great mama, she doesn't wait. She's just here, holding, constantly creating with whatever it is that she's got. And so we learn the patience of deep presence. Deep here-ness. She holds from within and all around everything that is and all that you are. She doesn't care if you had Pop-Tarts for breakfast or forgot to eat at all. She doesn't care if you did it right or you did it wrong, if you said the most gracious thing or said nothing at all. She's going to hold you. She leads with her capacity for holding, for presence. She leads through deep listening. Our capacity for presence, for that quality of the earth of us, always just here. Take this opportunity here to take heart. To take heart in your heart and in the heart of the earth. Simply feel the beat of your physical heart, the organ of your heart in your chest. Pulsing and then taking a rest. Pulsing and then taking a rest. Pulsing and then taking a rest. Giving, receiving, giving, receiving, leading and listening, leading and listening. Experience the graciousness of your breath here in the hollow of your chest, here in the space of your heart. The body representing all that we've been in the past, the mind representing where we are headed in the future, and the breath, just presence, here and now. Feel the touch of presence, the touch of breath in your chest. And as you inhale, feel into its expansive, radiant quality. And as you exhale, settle in to its great softening. And on your next inhale, allow the winds of the breath from the space of the heart to catch the wings of your arms and simply sweep your arms out and overhead. And then as you exhale, fold your hands into a prayer, rock to the back edge of your sitting bones and drop your hands to the center of your heart. Let the thumbs touch the sternum in your chest, back. Interlace your hands. And as you inhale, sweep the palms out and then lift your palms up. And as you exhale, simply release the hands and allow your fingers to touch the earth. Thank you, great mama. From the center of your chest, as you inhale, allow your arms to rise high with presence. And as you exhale, fold back, hands through the heart. Interlace the hands, take the palms out, and on your breath, lift up. And as you exhale, hands all the way back down, ground down to the earth. Fully present to how your body is in motion. As you inhale, arms sweep up. As you exhale, bow all the places that feel spacious and free. On your inhale, interlace the hands, sweep out and up all the places that feel bound and tight and sore, not patient for a time that's not there, but present with how it is right now. As you exhale, lower the hands all the way back down and hold yourself just like the earth holds you, with care and compassion. Keep your right hand down, and as you inhale, sweep your left arm up. And as you exhale, just up and over, a soft bend to the right. And as you inhale, stay to the right, but allow the heart to lift right up out of the lap. And then as you exhale, just wrap your left shoulder down towards the earth a little bit. So you're just kind of wrapping down. As you inhale, you just rotate back up and open. And just wait for your breath as you exhale, wrap down. So just a couple more like this. Embodying the patience of presence, not trying to wait for another time, a new time, the time that we get unlocked from the binding in our shoulders or from this quarantine in our house, but right here, right now, with the power of our presence and our capacity to be with and then ultimately work with what we've been given. And whether you stop open or stop closed, take a moment to stop somewhere and simply settle in. Stop somewhere on the journey. Stop trying to get somewhere and open yourself up to the mystery of here, where we lie beyond the knowing, in weight of only receiving this moment, nothing else. On your inhale, rise all the way back through to the center, both hands lift. And as you exhale, fold your hands through the center of your heart. Take the thumbs to the sternum in your chest. Feel the bones touching bones. Feel the breath in your chest, touching the tissues. This moment. Release your fingers down. Touch the earth and be held. Plant your left hand down, and as you inhale, sweep your right arm up. And as you exhale, reach up and over. And just rest back into the arms of your breath, in and out of the space of your heart. Take heart. And as you exhale, just kind of rinsing down a little bit. And then as you inhale, wrap it open. And just keep going. Aligning with your own breath's rhythm, your own life's rhythm. Aligning with what it is that you've been given here in this moment. For this, my darling, is what you have to work with. You're not waiting for anything else. Because that time of clarity, of something different, of freedom, of more certainty, of more security, of more resource, of more anything, that time is never coming. The only time is now. Find a place where you can just stay and be. And it doesn't have to be the same place that you were on the first side, because this is a new moment. This is a new breath. And the earth, she is here, present and holding, always here, always holding. She forgives you, so you can forgive yourself. Your next inhale, rise all the way back up. Both hands lift, and as you exhale, flow your hands down the base of the thumbs, touching in to the root of the heart. Allow the head to lift, or the heart to lift high, and allow the head to just take a soft and humble bow down towards the heart, down towards the earth. You can stay put right here with your hands in a prayer, or you can rest your hands in your lap, wherever it is that you feel that you can remain heart-centered and grounded. She teaches us the patience, not of waiting for something else, but the patience of presence and holding. How she and how we, as sons and daughters of the earth, have the capacity to be with all that is. Simply feel the breath in the space of the chest, and take heart. Anchoring here in the heart, anchoring here in the patience of presence. Open yourself up to experience the entirety of the world of sound. Just be with all of the sounds that are present for you right now. From the most obvious to the most subtle, without having to name them or judge them or like or dislike them. In the way of the earth, in the way of holding in true presence, simply open yourself up to experience the world of sound. Come back to the breath in the space of the heart. Breathing in and out of a heart that is wide enough to hold it all, whatever it is, just like the earth, here in the heart of you. And then open yourself up here in your anchored deep in your heart to all of the sensations that are present for you now in this wondrous miracle of your body. Patiently present with all of the things that feel free and feel easy. Patient and present with all of the things that feel tight, hurt, sore, contracted. Not waiting for it to be any other way. Opening yourself up to the possibility to delight in the miracle of your body and the sensations just as they are. The profound power of your presence. Simply feel. That's all. What is it like to experience all of these sensations in your body right now? Allow your awareness to drop back into the breath and back into the heart space. Just re-anchor. It only takes a moment to re-anchor, to get earthy and present. And anchored here in the space of your heart that has the capacity to hold it all. Open yourself up to experience the entirety of the thoughts and emotions that are present for you now. They might be varied and complex, or really simple and spacious. We're not waiting for a different time and place. Instead, open yourself up to the possibility of simply being with the thoughts and emotions that are present for you right now. Perhaps they're powerful pointers to something that matters. And then simply back to the breath once again. Opening yourself up to simply just be with the coming and going of the breath. Allowing us to be really present with the truth of change, the truth of impermanence, and how life-giving that is. The breath comes just like the spring comes, and the breath goes just like the snow melts. Life-giving, the living and the dying, the loving and the losing, the coming and the going. Just be with your breath and all that it has to offer with you. And at the bottom of your exhale, as all of the breath flows out, for a moment, allow yourself to be breathless, not waiting for the next breath to come in, but just breathless for a moment, an eternal pause. Simply allow the in-breath to rise from that place. And allow the out-breath to take you right back to that breathless space. And allow yourself to become present to a deeper state of stillness, of listening, of silence here beyond even the breath. Quietude at rest beneath the noise. Beneath the coming and going and turning of life, quietude. Take your right hand and lay your right hand right over your chest, right over the center of your heart. And then lean forward and lay your left hand on the earth. Just a moment to say thank you to the great Mama within, beneath, and all around you. A moment to claim your capacity for heart-centered presence. A moment to claim this moment as it is, yourself as you are. For this is the life that you have to work with. And rise back up Release your hands and allow your eyes to softly open. I'd like to thank you all for moving through practice with us today and taking the opportunity to really drop in and get grounded in a place of earth wisdom. She has so much to teach us. She is all of us. And so anyways, I just thank you so much for that. I could feel all of your presence so deeply, and I can feel for the next few minutes here, I think Ashleigh and I just want to open it up to see if you guys have just any quick questions on the practice we just did, or any quick questions you might have on the webinar that's coming up on Sunday. Just let us know. You can raise your hand in your little command center over here on the right, and I think we can see it. Oh, excuse my dog. Life is just happening in my house all around me. Yeah. Does anybody have anything that they want to ask? Ash, do you have anything that you wanna say or you want to share here? I think I'm just scrolling through to see if there's any hands raised.
I just had a really weird thing pop up on my computer. Excuse me. Some random video. It wasn't a Zoom bomb, thankfully. Together, done so much talking for the last couple weeks, which is great, but just to like practice feels really nice, and start to explore what this like practicing together long distance will feel like. It's what Meg and I are really sitting with and taking heart with, is what does this community look like moving forward, and what does it mean for us to be able to really gather and practice together long distance, and how does that look? We don't know yet, but things are coming up and we're exploring it. And the Heart-Centered Leadership webinar starts Sunday. We just have a 2-hour call on Sunday, and then another 2-hour call next Wednesday afternoon. We'll have this one in the morning and the other one in the evening. And then the last piece the following Sunday. And our intention with this is to really have, we want to get you guys connecting and talking with one another. One of the things that is so rich about our time together when we are actually in person together is that, to hear your voices and for you guys to build relationships with one another. I know that within our Experience Alive community, there are so many, you're all so amazing. And to give you guys the space to be able to connect with one another, to see where you are, geographically. I think some of us are really closer to each other than we thought, and our hubs of people and community all around. So we're hoping to do that within the webinar a little bit by having more breakout rooms where you get to kind of meet with one another and meet one another. And, our intention is to really, to dive into these practices, some like we did today. We'll get a little bit more in depth than that, and give you tools of how to share them or just use them with yourself. As well as, start to really pose some bigger questions around, what can we actually change right now in ourselves, or shift? We're just kind of, I think all of us are in a little bit of a space of mourning, grieving, mourning what was, unsure of what will be, and what does it look like to take heart to really anchor in the heart space, to listen deeply, and then, drop in some questions of, what do we actually have to let go of? What do we have to grieve in order to move forward in a way that is different and new and more sustainable and more nourishing for ourselves, for our planet, for our family. And, what it looks like to be we're using the word leadership, but we're trying to redefine that word a little bit, as opposed to it being this like centralized thing where like Meg and I are the leaders, or like leaders are people with like a big voice or a big platform. But what it means to be like leading from the heart, like leading out into the world when we step from this place of listening. What does it mean to act in the world from a heart-centered space, and kind of understand that that's the kind of leadership we're talking about, leading change from an internal space.
Well, and I think that, to add there, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, as far as the leadership goes, it's, I just wrote a blog post on it. I haven't posted it yet, but it's coming out here in the next day or two, that we are really all always leading, and we are all always following. And whether or not you own the title leader, you are a leader. Whether you're leading yourself from a place of darkness to lightness, or from lightness to darkness, whether you are, a mom who's leading their child into their future, whether you are, and you lead in all kinds of ways. I lead a lot when I actually drop back and listen. I lead my family a lot by dropping back and not being in front of them. You lead from in front, sometimes from within, and sometimes from behind, but we're all always leading all the time. And so if leader doesn't really resonate with you, or you don't really claim that title, just know that your way of being is paving a way. And so let's just be really clear and really honest that we are all paving some kind of way in our lives. And so to be really clear with that, this is the vital and meaningful work that we can do at this time, is to understand that we are powerful, and that what we do matters, and that it affects the whole. And so you are leading and paving a path, whether you like it or not. And so we might as well be conscious about that and clear about that, and move that path in a direction that feels sustainable and in alignment and resonant with ourselves, our families, our communities, the earth, and the whole. Yeah. So.
And we really, one of our intentions, and this is just like a macro intention for us as like a community, but also as resonating for both of us individually, is like what we really want to do is be able to look for ways for our offerings and for our community to have less impact on the planet, as well as to be less inclusive. We really are looking to expand our capacity for inclusivity, for, and pretty much every respect of that word. And, one of the ways we're doing this here is that we're having a sliding scale payment option for the webinar. So we have a suggested sliding scale, and then even if within the sliding scale, if it's just not something that's possible for you, we have an option for donation. So we're also open to any suggestions as well around how to make things more accessible and more approachable, and more appealing to a wider variety of folks, so we can help to get this information out there. So that's where we are. I dropped the info about the webinar into our chat room over here, if you want to check it out or have any questions. Just to honor time, we'll be prepared to close the call. But if you have any, if anything just from what we said came up, feel free to raise your hand here. We could probably take a question before we hop off, but otherwise, we look forward to seeing you this weekend. for the webinar or next week for the call.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any hands. We're checking hands.
No, I think we're good. Yeah. Can you see the hands now too? Okay, thank you guys so much. I love you so much. It's really good to see you. Have such a beautiful day. Yeah.